All right, we're going to go over notes on lesson 4-3. We're going to introduce two more ways to prove that two triangles are congruent. So from the previous work, there was side, 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 which meant if three sides in one triangle were congruent to three sides in the other, the two triangles are congruent. We also saw side, angle, side. Well, we're going to add two more here. We are going to add ASA, which stands for an angle, a side, then an angle. And then also AAS, angle, angle, side. So, if two angles and the included side of one triangle are congruent to two angles and the included side of another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. So in this picture here, because I have a tick-tick on G and K, a side length that's the same, maybe 3 inches, and then a tick-tick, maybe 30 degrees, 30 degrees, these two triangles would be congruent because there's an angle, a side, and then an angle. GBH, and then this would be KPN. The other new one here is angle, angle, side. If you have an angle that's congruent, another angle that's congruent, and then a side length, you have two triangles are congruent. In this picture, it would be CDM and XGT. Now, what's the difference between angle, side, angle, and angle, angle, side? I mean, you got two A's and one S. You got two A's and one S. The difference is the S is in between the two A's. So you'll notice a congruent angle here at G, then the side length that's equal, and then a congruent angle here. So that's really like an angle, a side, and an angle. That the one congruent side is in between the two congruent angles. Congruent angle, a side, and then a congruent angle. With this one, you have an angle, then you don't have a side, then you have an angle, and then a side. So you got like an angle here that's congruent. There's no tick mark here, another angle, and then the side. So it's kind of like an angle, angle, and then the side. So the side is not in between. All right, let's do the one proof. Write a proof. Like always, we're going to have, what are we trying to prove? We're trying to prove that the two triangles are congruent. And so that, of course, would be the last step here. Why are the two triangles congruent? Now, when you do a proof, you're always kind of thinking backwards. Well, how do I know when two triangles are congruent? Well, there would be side, side, side occurring, maybe side, angle, side occurring. Two new ones here, angle, side, angle, or angle, angle, side. So what needs to happen is we need to have some congruent sides and congruent angles before we go to step 4 here. All right, so you've got to prove certain things are equal. So let's go, of course, to the given, but let's read what the given is and mark it up. It says angle B, tick mark, is equal to angle D, tick mark. So we already have an angle. And of course, that's not enough. We need angle, angle, side, or angle, angle, side, angle. But it also said that these two lines are parallel. AB is parallel to CD. Okay, because things are parallel, certain angles are going to be equal. And in this picture, I will just put angle 1 and angle 2 here. And we're going to say angle 1 is equal to angle 2. If lines are parallel, and you just mentioned lines are parallel from step 1, then these are alternate, I'm abbreviating, interior angles are congruent. This is from a previous chapter here, so I'll go tick, 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 tick. Okay, so those two angles are equal. Now I'm going to put a little dot here and a dot here. Don't say that these two dots are equal, because those two would be equal if these were the lines that were parallel. Dot and dot. So because the top line and the bottom line are parallel, it makes 1 and 2 parallel. Okay, so you got to kind of recognize this is angle 1, this would be angle 2 here. You got to know which set of alternate interior angles are congruent based on the lines that are parallel. All right, so this is another angle. So we have two angles that are equal. We need a side that's equal because there is no angle to prove that two triangles are congruent. Step 3 says AC is equal to itself. That's reflexive property. I'll put a tick mark here, A to C. Now, if you just kind of look at your two triangles here, there's a triangle here, there's a tick mark, alternate interior angle, and a tick mark. I'm going to take this top triangle, separate it out, just a little separation here. There's a tick mark here from the given, alternate interior angle there, and then a reflexive property. And now you'll notice if I just look at this, or even the original picture, you've got angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. So now the two triangles are congruent because of angle, congruent angle, a congruent angle, and then a side. I'm not putting the side in between the two angles. If there was a tick mark here in yellow, where here's the two congruent angles and there's a tick mark there, then I would say angle, side, angle.